Okay, yay. We're recording. Happy Monday. I can't believe it. It's the first official Monday of December, and I feel like I just said this. Literally every Monday we have a call. I feel like I'm like blown away by how fast time is going. We have so many exciting things going on this week, this month. I know November was a tough month for a lot of you guys, myself included. It's just a busy time of year, you guys. You just have to kind of understand, and this is something that I forget, and I really try not to dwell on this. I try not to think about it. Um, but it's just important to just keep in the back of your mind that this is a time of year that is not just hard for some, it's hard for it's just people this is when people are more likely to make excuses. This is when people have money going all over the place. It's just the way of this business. It's just a part of the flow of the year, and this is also a very common time that people tend to take a step back as a result of that. People tend to take their foot off the gas. People tend to play it safe. People tend to not send as many invites, not be as excited about their business because they, like everybody else, are looking to the holiday and looking to all of the events going on to distract them, to be that coping mechanism. But the difference that you are going to see in the next 3 to 4 months is what you do and what you do right now. It's in what you did last month. It's in what you do this month. And it's going to be what you do in the coming months, going into January. Are you going to keep pushing? Are you going to keep up with the pace of what you've done for the last, 6 months? Or if you are someone that's just come in, are you going to keep improving and improving and improving and working on, striving for better? We all have shit going on, you guys. Like, we all have things going on at any given point in time. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be a very good reason and distraction for you to take your foot off the gas. Okay. And I will be the first one to admit that, I have definitely felt the effects of life and felt the effects of just change over the last couple months. But that is a part of my individual journey, and that is a part of my challenge within my own business. And I have seen the way that it has affected my business. I've seen the way that it's affected my leadership. I've seen the way it's affected in the ripple effect of you guys and, just everything. And let me tell you, it does not feel good to look back, a month, from a month ago, 2 months ago, and to think how, something that felt good at the time has impacted, how I'm feeling right now and how it could be so different. But that's also the beautiful and the powerful thing is that every single day you have the power to change the momentum of the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Okay. So that is really, honestly, truly why I wanted Alex to speak tonight about her decision, her literal decision to go diamond. Because if you've known Alex, if you've been around on our team for a little while, you know that Alex has been, pushing for this for a while. She's been working towards this for a while. Many of you have said, that I want to go diamond. Many, we set these goals, right? But there's a difference between setting the goal and then when it finally shifts in your mindset that the goal is it's no longer a what if, it's no longer a post it on a dream board or whatever, that it is a non-negotiable. It's happening. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I feel like that's the difference. All right, is literally that shift. So obviously I can't speak to what caused that shift. I can't tell you guys what's going to be the thing that causes you to make those types of mindset shifts. That literally comes from within us. It comes from your why. It comes from where you're at in your business, what you truly want, where you're working towards. And it also just comes down to literally a little bit of grit too, and just being willing to put your foot down and go for it. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let Alex take it away. I really don't have any other big announcements for you guys. You know, Bar is launching early access tomorrow. Beach bars are launching tomorrow. The end of the $20 sale is midnight tonight. I have been doing follow-ups all day long to have some conversations going. You know, try your best, you guys, to just keep, even if it doesn't, you know, happen tonight, the more that you can just get it out there and just keep reminding people, playing up the fact that it's Cyber Monday, all of those things, just playing, you know, letting people know just in case that this is going on. You never know what could happen. Okay. You literally never know. Right before this call, I was just on my Facebook sending some more last minute, hey, just in case you know, like messages. So anyway, that's what's going on. And I'm going to let Alex take it away.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, cool. All right, so I have like a Google Doc, so if I'm not looking at the camera, that's why, because I have squirrel brain. So those of you who don't know me, short and simple and sweet, I'm Alex. I work in radio and communications. I went to school for graphic design and communications. I live in upstate New York with my boyfriend Justin, and then we also have a puppy Mika, and we've got 2 cats, Tabby and Gray. Unofficially, those aren't really their names, but that's just what we call them. Anyway, so I joined in April of 2018 as a coach, and I didn't really like actually start coaching until June of that year. I kind of just signed up as a coach for the discount, just in case like I liked the products and maybe potentially like wanted to go ahead with the coaching opportunity. So that's what I did in June, and I was kind of like really wishy-washy with the whole thing. So I didn't hit Emerald until I believe September or October of 2018. And I kept getting told, sign your spouse, significant other, whatever the heck you want to call it. Sign them up. And I'm just like, no, like, it's fine. Like, it'll all work out, and just kind of like brush it aside. So then I finally it was like an old girl I went to high school with. She wanted to sign up as a discount coach. And I was like, wow, I can actually get people to do this with me. So when I signed her up is when I finally decided I was going to sign Justin up. And then I went Emerald. So I tracked it. I sat at Emerald for about a year and a month until about like 3 weeks ago. And now I'm officially like in my 3rd week of qualifications for Diamond. And then October of 2018, I'm like trying to give you a timeline so you really understand, because like it's not like, if you know Kate Schultz, she's a freaking unicorn, and like you're not going to be like her. You can't compare yourself to her. So like this is why I'm telling my story and like giving you the timeline, because you can literally see how it all pans out. So October is when I went to my first Super Saturday, and that's really when I like officially started digging deep into coaching and like posting every single day, inviting every single day, maybe possibly like looking into like programs that like help grow your following and stuff like that. And I really like started digging deep and like doing the things on the business activity tracker. And then December fell off. I fell off because I was like really overwhelmed with work, and I just literally couldn't balance it all because I was like trying to do all the things and I was overwhelming myself. Which in those moments you have to like, we've all had those moments. You have to like literally take a step back, breathe for 2 seconds, and like realize what you're doing. Like, I don't want to say like in those moments you want to do the bare minimum, but you want to do like what you're comfortable with so you don't burn out. Because that's literally what happened to me. I burned out, and I just was trying to do too many things at once and got overwhelmed. So once January hit, I finally got back into like the groove of things, and January was the first time I hit Success Club 8 or Success Club 10. And this is like really when I was like, holy shit, like I'm doing the thing. Like I had hit Success Club in October, and I had like 2 Success Club points in that first November, none in the December, and then January onward, I like really started doing the damn thing. So I had the drive to go diamond before summit. I really like had it in my head that I was gonna meet the qualifications to go diamond before summit. I wanted to go diamond, and I just had the mindset, and I missed the cutoff. And I like to say diamond is only hard because it will make it like 10 steps forward, and then we feel like we're taking 10 steps backwards. So it's like a mindset game. It's not necessarily of like, oh, I can't get people. You can get people. Your just mindset is shit. It's been there. I've been there. I know. So all you can do is keep showing up every single day and keep inviting and keep following up and sharing your story, because that's like what we do as coaches. That's why we do it. And that's how we get people to trust us. So come July, when we went to summit, I hit my highest amount of Success Club points to date. I hit SC20, and I was literally 1 emerald away, Justin, my boyfriend's account. And I was like, I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it in July. I was so convinced we're going to do it. And then it just like ended up, I hit SC20, but then when I was finally like trying to get people to go under Justin, I didn't want to sign up as a discount coach, and it just didn't work out. And I took it with a grain of salt. I was like, it's going to happen. Like if I keep pushing, it's going to eventually happen. So I don't actually have like any really, well, I guess I have 1 working coach on my left leg now, but at that point I didn't have anybody except him on that leg that I can like control or push to like sign people up. So I pushed it and I never hit it, but I kept working my butt off, and I changed a lot of things about how I run my business. So I started officially running coach sneak peeks. I used to do it on Facebook through Facebook Live, but I just didn't really like it. So I made a separate Instagram account for like my team, and I run them monthly on that. I started, and like, guys, I don't have many followers on my sneak peek page like at all, and I still do them because there are like those people don't like, if they don't unfollow you, they're still sitting there. They're still going to see your posts. They're still going to see your stories. They're still like going to hear your stuff. And like, obviously if they're following you because they want to know more. So I run those every single month now, and I did it for like a week long, but now I think I'm just going to keep it like from a Thursday to a Sunday and keep it super short and sweet. I run monthly boot camps either with some of my coaches or by myself. I offer incentives to like the new ladies who join, like goodie bags full of like beach bars or like peppermint mocha or whatever. I now officially have like push pods for my working coaches to keep them engaged and keep them in the loop, kind of like our diamond like boxer if you're in the diamond push group, you know. And Amy has always told me to talk about the coaching opportunities, so I really try to like talk about that a lot more. I know like it seems weird talking about it, and like you have all these followers and people watching you, and you're like, well, they don't really care about the coaching opportunity, but you never know who does. So like my Emerald coach Jordan, I stoned her for literally months to join me, and she never did. And she wasn't really interested in like becoming a coach, just kind of like wanted to do it for the discount. And now she's like my top coach. So you never really know who you're going to get out of it. So I also really started focusing on personal volume, being active versus inactive, and like when it shows up and all that, because essentially like you have to remember that this is your business. You have to stay like on top of this stuff. And like now that I am in qualifications for Diamond, I'm like literally stalking my back office every day, because it is key that you stay on top of it. And I like wish I did this a lot sooner, because even like Emerald, like if you drop an Emerald rank, you lose like all your stuff. So, and then you're like restarting from the very beginning. Like I dropped emerald probably like 2 or 3 times, and it's like starting from the beginning essentially. So so I thought I was going to hit diamond. So this is a prime example. I thought I was going to hit diamond the first week in November. I texted Amy. I was like, I'm going to hit diamond. Like, it's going to happen tomorrow. And it didn't. I didn't have my eggs in one basket. I didn't realize that my emerald coach on my right leg had an inactive coach on her one leg. I was like, I didn't really look closely enough at the back office to like say, hey, you've got an inactive coach. Is there a way like we can fix that? So we ended up fixing that, and I ended up hitting it the month later. But like ways I really took the push for diamond was I started asking friends from high school. I started sharing my journey on Facebook more. I didn't realize how many people actually gave a shit about what I was doing on Facebook until I started showing up and like posting it. And at first I thought it was so weird. Like I didn't want like anyone, I don't know. I thought like the whole reason I made like my Alex Wants Abs account is just so people like didn't see that stuff. But now I'm just like, I don't care. Like I just share everything and anything. And so since I only had Justin on my left leg, my weak leg, who was like technically I can only make him go emerald. My mom drinks Shakeology, so I signed her up as a discount coach. And then I ended up having a friend from high school sign up as a discount coach. So that's essentially how like I push for that. So if you have like your spouse or your significant other signed up on a leg that you don't really have any working coaches, or like you're having a really good month and can make them go emerald or get them some discount coaches, do it. Because that's like, once I finally like saw that I could do it and could get the people and kept showing up, that's when I realized like this is literally like easy. And so I also kept pushing for diamond because I knew it would be a huge stepping stone for our team. I knew we'd have like a really big door that was opening. There's a whole lot more opportunities. You get added into like these push groups. You get more accountability. Like I love all you guys, but like you get more accountability than just your team. You get like total strangers, which is pretty cool. And so even though I can't go to Summit this year, I didn't want to go as an Emerald coach again. And I had another goal. I didn't want to go on the Success Club trip as an Emerald. And I just kept pushing and pushing. So I've been doing all the things I need to do as a coach, and I've really made this into a growing business that I know I can do big things with, and I know that you guys can do big things with it, and I know that you all know that you could do big things with it. I feel like I need to breathe. I'm like, okay. So we have to remember that we're going to have setbacks, and we just have to take them with a grain of salt, because there are a lot of learning curves in this business. We're essentially running this and starting this from the ground up, and we're in the process, we're learning how to be a leader for like our future team and coaches who are like going to be up and coming. So don't look at diamond as scary. When I first was like added to a diamond push group, I was like, where the freak am I going to find 4 active coaches and 2 emerald coaches? Like I thought it was so scary. And like once you get the momentum and you keep going, and like you can like literally taste it, it's right. It's so easy when you're in the moment and like doing it. I don't want you guys to like think that it's scary, because it really isn't. And don't be afraid to like reach out to family and friends, or like other coaches or coworkers. And then another thing, like now this is the point where I just have gibberish at the end of my Google Doc. So if you show up, I say show up every single day, use your business activity tracker and track your progress. I literally have a binder full. I don't know if I'm showing you because I can't see myself, of all of my business activity trackers from like June, July, I don't know. So I keep track of them, and I just keep adding them in when I like finish a week. And that way I can like go back and see, oh, I signed this many people up. What did I miss? And what did I didn't do? And then I think the whole thing like with me going diamond is I actually like finally saw my potential. I know that like it's easy to get down on ourselves. It's easy to say, well, no one's interested. It's easy to say, well, I I don't interest anyone to sign up as a coach. But once you finally get into a flow of signing people, when you feel like you take those 10 steps back, it's literally nothing because you're in the mindset and like the momentum that you just keep adding and you just keep signing and you just keep doing all of the things. And you can't get down on yourself. I say this to my coaches all the time. You can't get down on yourself because you know that you're doing all of the things. Like, we go through different seasons as a coach. There's like December might be hard for us because nobody will want to spend money, but you have to use like the coupon codes and the $20 off to like your advantage. And then, so another thing I have is like, you are the driving force of your business. You are essentially calling all of the shots. You're making all of the moves. And it took me a while until I saw that. And I think like making Justin go Emerald was like literally a prime example. And you just really have to like keep going out of your comfort zone, because the more you keep going out of your comfort zone, it's going to become like second nature. Like, I used to like literally unfollow and write off the people who I didn't hear back from for like 3 invites or 3 follow-ups. And now I just go until they freaking block me or say like F you. So I think I hit everything I wanted to talk about. I know I talk in like circles, but
No, I think you talked about a ton of things.
there's cats.
Like, I think you brought up a lot of really good points. So these are some of the things that I picked out pretty much probably since you talked about Summit and how you pushed for it at Summit and then you missed it. But like, there's these things that you started doing. And bottom line is you started treating this like a business. You started looking at things, the details of this that are so important. Checking your back office, paying attention to volume, and here's the thing, you brought up another really huge point. Like, we are the generators of our own business, and we are the leaders of the future leaders of our team. The more we can fail, the better, because the more that we each fail, the more we're able to learn from that failure forward. So that way we have wisdom, we have experiences when that coach goes through the same thing or something else later on. We can say, oh yeah, I got you, girl. Like, been there, done that. It's normal. You're going to get through it. This happened to me. This is what I did. Boom. Like, the more that we can go through things, aka the more that you're trying, the more that you are constantly, like Alex said, like, we all go through these hard times. We all go through these seasons. But it's just like, I forget, I just saw one of my good coach friends in this business just hit premiere, at Thanksgiving. But she's been pushing for elite all year, just like I've been pushing for elite all year. But that's the thing. You set high goals, right? You go into each month with a high goal. You go into each year with a high goal, because you know what? You aim high, you land high. If you keep, aiming low, you guys are like just working to meet the bare minimum, just trying to hit Success Club 6, just trying to, basically that's all you're really kind of thinking at. And that's how big you're thinking. It's just like the monthly minimum. You're gonna struggle. Okay. Because you're never going to generate that momentum that Alex is talking about. And that's truly what it is. That you will know when you're on the right path, when you feel that momentum. And a lot of that comes back to the fact of everything she just said. The biggest shift that I have seen in Alex is literally her mindset of how she thinks about herself and how she thinks about herself as a coach, how she thinks of, about herself and this being an actual business. And it translates through her social media. It translates in how she communicates with me. It translates pretty much in every single way. So we all know that energy is a real thing. When you are in a funk, when you aren't feeling good, aka you're not, maybe it's because you're not doing your personal development, Or maybe it's because you don't know what personal volume is, or you don't check your back office. So things like that, happen left and right, and you get discouraged by that. You see these cancellations come through in your email. You see, you didn't hit, so-and-so didn't hit Emerald, or you dropped your rank, or, your paycheck wasn't what you thought it was going to be. And it's because sometimes what we do is we shield ourselves from the information because we think it's just going to, we don't want to look, you don't want to go look. Guys, the best thing you can do is look behind the curtain, because that's what's going to take the fear away. Like the best thing I can do, even if I don't want to, is to check my back office on Mondays and Wednesdays and Saturdays and whatever, is because then I can be ahead of the game. I can see what's coming, right? So I can be proactive about it. Like if she's in halfway through diamond quals, and that's a super stressful period when you're in a qualification period, because it's even more of an eye-opener to how important it is to pay attention to the building blocks of your business, aka your discount coaches, aka your working coaches, your controlled business centers. Things can happen, and for a fact that people are not always going to communicate with you about the fact that they're canceling, or they might have changed their order date or whatever. But you guys, the very empowering thing about what we do is the fact that so much of that, although out of our control, is in our control. People going inactive, we can replace them. People, people canceling discount coach memberships or whatever, we can replace them. Like, that's why this is so important about keeping your eyes forward and on the bigger picture. Because people are going to come in and they are going to quit, and then sometimes they come back and sometimes they don't. Sometimes, and that's okay, right? But you have to, it's just the reality. Just same thing, like if we were owners of, say you work in a hospital as a nurse, right? It's a fact in reality that turnover is a real thing. In nursing and healthcare, my supervisors, my bosses, they didn't take it personally. Maybe they did secretly a little bit, but they know that turnover is going to happen. They know that some nurses are going to come, they're going to stay a little bit, 1 to 2 years, and then they're going to go and move on to their next job. It's just a fact. So it's part of the learning lesson. It's part of the evolution of you as a coach and as a business person. This is just a part of the growing pains of becoming a leader, of understanding that it's not personal. I don't want to say it's not personal, it's business, but it is a business at the end of the day. And people are people, and you can't read them. And the best thing that you can do is expect the unpredictable. Okay? Expect the unexpected, and to be a proactive leader of your own destiny, of your own team, of everything. So, Alex, I'm curious, like, what have you been reading or listening to over the last couple months that you think might have helped you?
I listened to a lot of Keisha on the Empower Her podcast. I listened to The Greatest You by Trent Shelton, and there were like 2 or 3 chapters I probably listened to like 2 or 3 times. And then and the She podcast, I listen to that every so often. And then I just got that Unfuck Yourself, so I'm going to start listening to that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say is, don't be afraid to set scary goals, because listen here, if you came to Summit, you went to the Rise Up pre-Summit event with us, this literally has been sitting on my computer since July for next Summit, even though I'll be there in spirit, but I'm still pushing for it.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys, like, what are we here for if it's not to push for something scary? Whether right now that's, at the time before, what was really scary to me was the idea of going per diem with my job. Like, That was an extremely scary goal. And now it's a super scary goal to become an elite coach and to become a six-figure earner, all these things. Like, they're really scary goals, you guys, because you know what's scary about them is because I've never achieved anything like that before. But just because we've never achieved something like that before or done something doesn't mean we're not capable of it, right? Boundaries are meant to be crossed, in my opinion. You know, like, you are meant to set goals and go for them and keep setting goals. Like, that's what is life. Like, that's what life's about, right? I can't talk. I'm like totally tongue twisting. But oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. My dog, side note, we have a neighbor dog and they literally just creeped the crap out of me. He was just in the window because he came over to play. Oh my God, it's so creepy. I wish I could just describe it to you. So anyways, Alex, do you have anything more to add? I would pretty much say that I think um, I don't know. I think a lot of it is mindset. I don't know if you
Like, you can't just push for diamond, because then, like, you push for diamond, you're like, okay, hit diamond, now what? Like, you should always be pushing for, like, something extra, like something more, like, oh, I want to hit diamond next month, or, oh, I want to be 2-star in 2 months. Like, even like the most outrageous, craziest goals, who freaking cares? Because eventually you're going to hit it anyways. So, like, it gives you something to push for, and it gives you momentum, like, to go past just diamond. Because it's not all about just hitting diamond. Like, once you hit 2-star, you get a clone of yourself. Like, there's a lot more things to be excited for than just diamond. There's trips, there's conferences, there's so much in this business that we have, like, opportunities for, that we shouldn't just be like setting the bar low, because that's what I was doing for a while. And it's all a mindset thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, diamond truly is just a stepping stone, you guys. Like, I know we put a lot of emphasis on it because it is the big first huge milestone in your business. But they say, you know, the phrase is that, like, diamond's just the beginning. Like, diamond, emerald is the building block of everything, but diamond is really like the actual building block of everything. If you can hit emerald, but the fact is if you can hit emerald, then you already have the skills that you need in order to hit diamond and 1-star and 2-star and beyond, because it's literally just the same thing. It's showing up, sharing your story, talking about coaching, being annoying. Like, I'm sorry, but I was just talking to some girls today about, you know, content and things like that. You guys, I still talk about the same things that I talked about 2 years ago. Still talk about paying off my $10,000 credit card debt. I still talk about getting my nails done. I still talk about all these things because those things were the things that got me into coaching. Those things were the things that drove me my first year and a half of coaching. You know, those are things that still drive me now, are those little freedoms, those little perks, right? Is getting to be able to make these, you know, moves in my life, you know, towards the you know, the kind of life that I want to lead. So I still talk about those things because that's what's going to connect with that other person like me that isn't where I am right now, but is where I was 2 years ago, right? So you talk about it over and over and over and over again. Like, if you are in a season where you're trying to recruit working coaches pretty much all the time, then you talk about coaching all the time. You know, you talk about every little thing about this, you know, community, this business, this lifestyle that you love, and you keep talking about it, okay? And it's going to become second nature over time, honestly. I think back a lot about where, you know, it's just going to blow your mind when you look back in a year or a year and a half and you think about the things that you struggled and you were anxious over, and like that you used to think were so hard, right? Because you're going to get I promise you, the more that you just keep going and you just keep this forward. Like, Alex didn't know volume. She didn't understand things. So she went and she learned about it, right? If you're wherever you're struggling in your business, if you are struggling, then that's where you need to go start paying some attention to. That's where you need to go start investing some of your time in. Everything is figure outable, literally. Like everything that you want to figure out and need to learn in order to get over this hump that you need to reach diamond and beyond is in your control. It's just up to you to decide to actually do the thing and believe that you can do it and go do it, you know? Well, I'm really excited. I think this was
I
fun.
have one more thing. So the Diamond Roadmap, I don't know if anyone has this. The Diamond Roadmap will save your life. Like, I uploaded it into Canva and I update it like whenever I have a new coach or like a coach goes inactive. Because I think like I'm a really visual person, like I'm a really hands-on like type of person. So like me being able to see physically like my downline and like even like my emeralds downline, it also helps a lot. So I don't know if anybody has that, but you can add that into Canva and like kind of map it out. Cause like being able to physically see, you're like, oh my God, I literally just need one coach on each leg to have 4 active coaches. Like that's another thing that was really motivating for me, but I'm just like a physical, like I went to school for freaking graphic design. So like obviously that stuff like triggers me.
Oh yeah, visual, whatever helps you. Visual, I'm a visual person too. I like to see visuals. Um, and it just helps me like my brain like really understand. But if you're able to share that, I don't have a really great diamond
I think
roadmap.
it's the one that you gave us a while ago.
All right, if you can reshare it, that would be helpful. Shannon asked, do you host your own team calls?
So yes and no. I try to do them every single Wednesday at 8:00. Most of the time it's like 1 or 2 girls or none hopping on, but like I record them and I upload them. I don't really give a shit. It's good practice. Also, I'm an open book and I swear a lot. So I don't know if anybody picked up on this who doesn't know me yet.
So you're saying yes and no because you do them even when they don't show up, or what do you mean?
I do. Well, if nobody hops on, I record them anyway and upload them. But then sometimes I'll have like 1 or 2 girls who hop on and I still record it and upload it. But then like if, like for example, you're doing that Emerald push next week, I'm not going to do my team call because I have a lot of girls who are pushing for Emerald. So I'd rather them do that.
Right.
So like newer girls, I always talk about like the vital behaviors, pushing Emerald, and just like the basic like thing in like the business activity tracker. Another thing is like in my team page when they get added, I have like a bunch of units that they have to go through and complete, and I also have like a Google form. I'm like trying to get it so I can like read it to you. But it's like the basic stuff of like what volume is, pushing for Emerald. I've got like our team Google Drive is one of the units, the business activity tracker, the vital behaviors, how to navigate the coach office, direct deposit, success club, just like all the basics. Like if one was to miss a call or I didn't do a call on that right away. But I like lately, like I don't have many working coaches, but I usually just try to like ask them what they want to hear like about. Like I think one of my coaches wanted to hear about creating content and how you gear it towards like what you're inviting to. And like some of them are super simple, like what you use to like make graphics or like basic stuff like that, or like vital behaviors. That's a big one. Because like the thing is with the vital behaviors, we go into it trying to do all the things at once, and then we burn ourselves out and get overwhelmed, and we're like, how am I supposed to do all of this? When it's really just follow the business activity tracker, and it's simple. We always just have the mindset of like making it to be more than it should be type of thing. But I try to keep it super basic. Like I have girls who are pushing for emerald. I only have one person shooting for diamond right now, and she lives local to me, so we can literally just meet up and talk about that stuff. So
Mhm.
I'd rather like gear it more towards people who are all pushing towards the same thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like in the beginning, I talked about a lot of the basic things like you would with a new coach email, like reiterating a lot of the you know main topics. But then over time, you'll kind of also gauge, like Alex was saying, like you'll notice what your people are struggling with, or maybe I remember like tailoring some calls towards what people were getting objections about. So I would try and like talk more on that topic, help them like with conversations or talking through objections or giving them more information so they felt more capable to, like Shakeology, for example. I remember I did a call on Shakeology because I remember people getting a lot of objections about Shakeology in general, the cost of it, the value of it, and it was affecting, you know, their success in their conversation. So you get that gauge, and but otherwise, I also kind of get some ideas and inspiration from other coaches. I go back to their team calls from the way back when, and or I literally like will tell you guys, like a lot of the calls I've done for you guys were inspired literally from other calls I've listened to. So I just kind of take notes and I make it my own. I make my own presentation, and then I reiterate and share what I thought was valuable to you guys. So you really can't go wrong, Shannon, because honestly, they're looking to you and they don't know what they don't know, and all information is good information.
And like honestly, the practice is really all you need too. Like if you're talking to a wall, who cares?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna like eventually it's gonna be like 50 people, and you're gonna be like, why the hell did this happen?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and that's another great point that she mentioned really quick is just even when people don't show up, even if it's one person, it matters that you show up. There, even to this day, you guys, there's nights, especially these like getting started right calls or emerald calls. There's a lot of times there's nobody on, and I just record it and I post it because if I don't, then that's on me. But I can't blame anyone else other than myself for not showing up and doing that. So that way, when I do have somebody come in, or if I do have a new coach and they want the most recent video, I have one that's recent, and I have that piece there. So it matters, you guys. It builds your own integrity and builds your own character. It builds your own just discipline. And it's also setting the standard for what you expect from your coaches too. So remember, you are literally trying to emulate the coach that you want on your team all the time. Like be the coach that you want, because you can't ask anything of anybody else if you're not doing it yourself. Right. So that was a really, and there's really no right time to start hosting team calls. I just want to tell you that. You will not, I guarantee you, feel ready. You might not even you don't have to be a diamond to start hosting them. You literally don't have to be a diamond to start having a team page. It's literally all up to you. I, like Alex, it all came from the fact that I realized that I wanted farther than diamond. And if I wanted farther than diamond, then I better start acting like farther than a diamond coach. So I started just doing things that I knew and saw other diamond beyond coaches doing. And that's where it all began. And it just kept going from there. So just know that like no one's going to tell you to go start running team calls. It all comes from you and when you feel ready or you're ready for more, I guess I should say. All right, does anyone else have any random other questions for Alex or just in general? I feel like this has been a really good open chat, so if you got questions, ask them. I want to just ask you, I think because you are doing this, and I know you've been doing it for a little while, just really quickly about growing your following. Because I know before you were using a third party, but I know you've been growing your following by yourself for a little while now.
Mhm.
Can you kind of just touch on how you do that day to day?
Yeah, so I recently, I literally, like, over the summer was just going on, like, mass following sprees and just following everybody, and then, like, things kind of got messy. Like, I was following too many people. Half the time people weren't following me back, and I was still following them. So, like, the end of October, I started writing everybody down. It's a lot of extra work, but it's working and it's helping me, like, stay organized. So, like, I'll usually typically follow, like all the lines on my sheet are probably like about 32, 34 people a day. If I've got extra time, I do like the opposite side. So I think that comes out to, like, I think it's 64. So I'll follow a bunch of people each day. And I I talked to Allie about this actually. I like kind of gear who I'm following based off of like the season of my life. So now it's like snowboarding season for me. Like, I'm gonna live at the hill because that's my part-time job in the winter time. So I literally just sit down and look up a bunch of like mountains or ski areas like in the US, in the UK, and Canada, and I'll kind of just go through. If I see somebody I like, I'll like a few pictures and I'll follow them, and then I jot them down. And like now I've been doing it a little while where like now I'm like going through and unfollowing the people. I got my ears ringing. I'll unfollow the people who didn't follow me back. So I'm like literally giving these people a month to follow me back. And if they're not following me back, I'll delete them. And then like another thing, I always gear it towards like radio or graphic design or like college athletes or like former lacrosse players or like summertime concert season, country music. Like I try to gear it towards like something that I'm already posting about, because that way when they come to my profile, they see, oh, she snowboards. Oh, she's also really into health and fitness. And they'll like relate with you a little bit more. So, and then I also have in my Google Keep like a bunch of hashtag like topics. So I have like 3 separate fitness ones. I've got a food one, which I should probably come up with like 2 different ones, because like if you're using a hashtag too much, they're gonna like mute you from that hashtag. Like you just become irrelevant and they like hide you from it. So I try to like switch it up. I've got snowboarding one, a winter one, Buffalo Bills, friends, Adirondacks, dog mom, alcohol, lake, personal development. I have a whole bunch of them. And then like I add that to like my pictures. And I always say this to like my coaches, if you don't have your phone or your Instagram and business profile or whatever, switch it, because you can like literally go to a post and see like everything, like how they found you, if they found you through like a location, if they found you through a hashtag, how many people are actually following you. But my following is definitely growing a lot slower. So, but I also have a lot of people who have been following me for a while, like maybe even since I made this account. So it's not a bad thing that your following is growing slow. I mean, it will spurt. I mean, I was using Jumper Media, which worked really well, but then it was a little pricey, and 2, it just stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
And like I also really like I've tried inviting like right off the bat, like when somebody follows me, but now I'm like, that's not me. Like I'm the type of person who like really is like up in your face, wants to get to know you, wants to know your life story, and I just want people to like relate with me. So like now that I've done it like on a more personable, I don't know, take, I found that a lot more people are like just messaging me randomly about random stuff. So people are watching.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a little bit extra work doing it the way I do it, but it's working right now. So
Yeah, no, I think it's helpful. It's growing your following and things like that is stuff that's constantly changing. So it's nice to hear just like what you're doing and what's working for you right
I look
now.
at a lot of YouTube videos too.
Yeah,
Because like I don't have time to like study Instagram's algorithms, but like there's a bunch of videos on it about how it works and how they are constantly changing it.
yep. So, all right, guys. Well, I am super thankful that you did this, Alex. I think it was really helpful. I think everyone probably really appreciated it. It's just nice to hear from you and hear from someone that's actually in it right now. So I appreciate it. So thank you for taking the time. And if anyone doesn't have any questions, then I will let you guys go. Bye, guys.
Bye.